Howdy, yeah. Today is January 27th. Just starting to grab some eggs here. Already got them all fed and watered. I'll probably top them off one more time. What you got under here, girl? Got a few. Quite a few. I think that's the last one. Almost a dozen, just need one more. And here's a dozen. This girl is just about to lay one. The girl in the nesting box to the left just laid one. I missed that. She's real close. This is Raven, by the way, if you remember her. She's one of the really sweet Americanas. Probably a blue egg. Yep, there's a blue egg. But speckled Sussex over here just laid that one. So I'll let that one dry off a little bit. That shiny part, that's called the bloom. So that's what seals the egg and protects it. That way you don't have to refrigerate it. But as soon as you wash an egg, you wash off that seal, and then you do have to refrigerate it. So far we are up to exactly 3 dozen eggs. It's about 12 o'clock right now, so I'll run back out here in a little while and do one more round of grabbing eggs. Howdy, yeah. Today is January 30th. There hasn't been too much to update you guys on the past few days. It's just rainy, kind of cold, not the best weather. But chickens are all doing good. It's just really damp out. I've been going through about 2 bags of bedding a day, 1 in each coop, just keeping things dry. But after today, it looks like it's going to dry up. And next week, the temps are going to look a little nicer, get up into the 50s. So that'll be nice for a change. It's currently 11 o'clock, but I am still getting about 4 dozen eggs a day. So this is just the first round. I haven't even grabbed the pearl whites eggs yet. But the chickens are doing really good. One thing I did get done yesterday was I grabbed some more insulation for the floor because the floor in that room is freezing cold up there. Everything else is insulated really nice. Just we never got around to the floor quite yet, so still have a few more spaces to do, but just kind of slowly working on that as we go. So once I start heating that room day in, day out, once I get some plants going up there, I definitely want to have that floor nice and insulated. And speaking of the grow room, today we're working on putting together a shelf. So the idea is to turn this long board here. We're going to cut it into sections and make a shelf out of it. And this is the last floor, I guess you call joist, that I have left. So this would be a perfect little project. You can easily put a few plants on these spaces. So it's going to be kind of like a chicken roost, but that's going to be the rung. You can get a lot on one shelf.
Yeah, you may not even need 2 or 3. You could do them like that.
I'm still thinking foil to line it.
Yes. So there's a, what did I say, 5 foot something? 5'6". So in a foot, you're gonna get 6 to a foot, so 6 foot. So that's 36 plants. One board all the way, this is 30 inches on the base. So if we cut another 30 and put it right in here, then we can put the first rung kind of out here towards the middle to come out at our 40.
Okay.
And then we'll get our next one and that'll stabilize it some. And we can always brace down off of this one.
so we've got the general layout of it. It should be pretty easy to pop together. And there it is. Still a couple things to work on, but that is the general concept of it. I am going to slide it down so it's on that wall so you get some room to walk in a little easier. Also need to put in an outlet back on this side because this isn't the safest thing, having a cord over the heater there. So I'm going to work on that next. We still have to get this one nailed in, but this is going to be really nice. Howdy y'all, today is February 1st, it's currently 51 degrees, feels fantastic. I'm currently just mapping out this garden area, getting different lengths, like where the spigot is compared to the road, barn, driveway, where the rows are currently spaced. So I have a plan in mind for what I want the garden to look like next year, but I haven't actually drawn it out to scale on a piece of paper yet. So I want to do that and start actually planning it out a little better. My little drawing here is nearly impossible to read, but I can at least make sense of it. So I'll draw it up better here once I finish everything. The last measurement that I want to grab real quick is the back end of where the rows stopped and just see where it lines up with the back of the property. I will probably keep this strip here of things just growing wild this year. And then maybe next year I'll do gardening stuff in the area, but I've already got my hands full with trying to get the garden laid out and more established. This past year it was just literally throw something in the ground and get it going because I had so much going on. But this year I think I have a little bit more time to plan things out. So eventually this strip here will go and it'll turn into longer beds or paths or whatever I've got going on. I have some ideas. So I'm gonna go ahead, get some final measurements here and then draw it up. Look at that sun, y'all. It is gorgeous. We haven't seen the sun in a really long time. I read somewhere recently that this is one of the cloudiest Januaries on record we've had, I think, for the past 25 years, which is crazy to think, but you know, we really haven't seen the sun much. So glad it's February and things are just gonna keep on getting warmer. It is only February, but man, my strawberries look good. I didn't even do anything with them. You're supposed to cover them up so that way they don't die off. This one over here looks pretty bad though. I don't know if that one will come back, but this one over here looks like it's growing. It is so nice to see the sun. I think I'm just gonna start working outside a little bit instead of working in the barn. It's just too nice out. I've converted my little drawing here over to something that I can read and work with a little bit easier. So now that I have some measurements, I can start designing the garden. All right, y'all, you can't see it real great, but my hat is out there, right there. And that is the middle of everything that I measured. So that's from the spigot to the road, from the barn to the edge of the property. So my plan for this year on the garden is to have a center, most likely that'll be the center right there, and build out from there. And that was from the road, not from the ditch. So I could pull it back a little bit further, but honestly that looks pretty good. So still in the planning stages, but that's what I'm thinking about doing this year. It is still pretty soggy out here, but so nice we have dandelions still. It's crazy. My shoes are caked with mud and leaves. It takes me back to building the fence almost this time last year. I think we started on the fence in March. So this time last year, I was already planning on planting things. I think I started planting things around February 15th, so about mid-month. This go around, I'm not gonna plant as many up front. So last year I did at least 100 tomato plants, just the top shelf of my closet with a grow light. Those things grew so quick. I ran out of room, and yeah, it was more than I thought it would be. So learning from that, I'm not doing as many to start off, but I am still gonna start this early. I'll probably just baby 10 tomato plants really hard, get them up and going. So that way they're really nice size by the time I actually put them in the ground. Also last year, I didn't do much with cold weather crops just because I had a million and one other things going on. So I do want to do a little bit more of that this year. So I'll probably be planting some of that stuff here soon as well. Howdy y'all, today is February 2nd. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting some things planted. So I'm gonna do the Brandywine. I really like this tomato. Grew really well, massive tomatoes, tasted great. This one says 85 days till it matures. This one is, I think, 65, 70. So that's my longest tomato I have. It's the shortest tomato I have. And then the onions, those will be ready right about the farmer's market time, which is crazy to think. But I wanted to go ahead and start getting a little something growing. Probably only do maybe 10 tomatoes and then start working on the onions. I'm making a few improvements this year. One is starting 2 weeks earlier as far as planting a few. Also, second is using this. So I have a tendency to overwater things, and I lost every single cherry tomato that I planted because I overwatered them. So hopefully that'll help out. Also, as far as the drainage issue, I didn't have holes poked into my cups, so water was just staying in there. So those are 3 improvements. Earlier, using some of this stuff and poking holes. Another improvement that I'm making this year is I'm planting them directly into a larger cup. Last year, if y'all remember, I had just egg cartons lining this whole top, and I had a couple seeds in each little pot, and then you had to split it, and it's kind of a pain. So 1 seed per cup here make things a lot easier. Check out this cute little egg I just got from the chickens. It looks like a quail egg. It is so tiny and just perfectly round. So a lot of garden planning going on. It's crazy. I did the math with the square footage and the amount of plants that we did out here this year. With the actual space, if we condensed everything down, we could have done this garden 40 times, which is crazy to think. So there's a lot of space out here that we didn't even use. So you can see there was 1 row, there was another row. It's just dead space in between. So it's easy to see how you get 40 times what we did this year, but that was a lot of work. Every time I open this door, this Americana keeps jumping out. The roosters love it. They hop on her real quick, but it's quite annoying. 2 more fresh eggs there. Got the bloom drying, and 1 more in there. Bloom's still drying. These girls are egg-laying machines. I was just in here maybe 2 minutes ago, and they just keep popping them out.